You wanna do the intro? You wanna do the intro? He wants to do the intro. Can you do the intro? You can? Oh no, now you're camera shy? He's camera shy. He doesn't wanna. Oh, you ready? He's like, don't worry, I just had to get my composure. There we go, guys. It's April 22nd, 2012. This is your internet news. So, let's get on with the show, but one real quick side note that I want to throw out there, guys. I just want to thank you all for the huge support that you gave me on last week's video. I really enjoy the feedback, and I appreciate it so much that I can go from gaming videos that you guys were used to going into a whole different genre of videos, and the support actually increased. A lot of other YouTubers have tried that, where they tried something completely different, and the feedback just tore them down, and they didn't really be successful with it. So I appreciate you guys. Likes, comments, favorites, subscribing, it really matters to me a lot. And let's move into the news. So let's move into our first story. It comes from Nvidia. If you don't know who they are, they're a manufacturing company of processor chips that you find in laptops, tablets, or cell phones. Now, the interesting thing that actually came out this week is a report that by 2014 they will have chips that will have the same graphics, if not better, than the current Xbox 360 and PS3 that are on the market. So that to me is amazing, because you will be able to cram all that gaming into a device like this, or a tablet, a little bit bigger, but either way it's a lot smaller than the current Xbox, and needing a TV, an external controller, everything else for it. I'm sure once we see the processor implemented into the smartphones and devices in 2014, that we'll see a marketplace similar to what Sony has right now. If you're not familiar with the Sony Xperia Play, it's got its own little kind of gaming setup because it has a controller built into the phone. Now, I'm sure that once we have the new processor in the phones that are capable of doing the graphics, such as the Xbox 360 or the PS3, that we'll see maybe a Microsoft store or a Sony store specifically designed for their games, or maybe we'll just see individual gaming stores for the individual manufacturers of the game, such as EA, Activision, all those companies. But by 2014 we should also see the new Xbox and possibly a new PlayStation, which would be awesome, because not only will we have the next generation of gaming, we'll have this generation right now of gaming on a portable device that we could take anywhere with us. So I think that's something that's going to be huge in the gaming industry, and something that I'm definitely looking forward to in the upcoming years. So my question to you is, would you worry about the next generation of gaming, or would you stick to a mobile device and do all your gaming on a mobile type cell phone or tablet? To me, I think being able to go out in wherever you want in the world and take that gaming experience with you will be awesome. Leave a comment below, and let's move on to our next story. So my camera just died, but let's move on to our next story. Google has actually announced, well, not officially announced, but there's been a lot of little leaked photos and whatnot of it, but Google is releasing something called Google Drive. And what Google Drive is, it's a service that's a cloud-based storage, similar to those of Dropbox or Box.com. Now, if you're not familiar with Dropbox or Box.com, it's basically an online storage that you can upload all your files, whether they're pictures, videos, or music, and keep them on a cloud-based service without ever having a fear of losing them. So personally, I like Dropbox a little more. Why? It's a hell of a lot easier to me than Box.com. But what's cool about Dropbox is they have this whole referral system, where if, say, you sign up through my referral link, I get extra storage, and then you sign up your friends, you get extra storage. So it's a pretty cool little system. They initially give you 2 gigabytes, and they increased recently the 250 megabytes that they were giving out for each referral to actually 500 megabytes for each referral. And they have a bunch of other things. If you Google search how to get more Dropbox space, you'll find it there. But now Google is coming out with their own software called Google Drive. It's actually offering 5 gigabytes of memory free as a startup. Now, I don't know if there's going to be any kind of paid service, or neither does anybody else, but Google should be releasing it sometime this week coming up. I personally will be getting a Google Drive account just because I like the way Google does things, and usually they take into consideration all the other software or hardware that is similar, and then they make their own addition because they steal everybody's stuff pretty much, or buy it. If they don't steal it, they buy it. But nonetheless, I really like Google, and I think Google Drive is the next step into basically freeing yourself of internal memory cards or storage space on your computers. Personally, I'll be trying out Google Drive. I'll like to see what it is. It does offer 5 gigabytes of free storage anyway. It's just one extra site that I could upload some files to and keep them, rather than keeping them on my mobile device or on my computer. They'll just be stored in the cloud. I'll definitely report on it next week and give kind of like a brief overview if it does come out, or whenever it does, I will definitely touch on it a little bit, but let's move on. So our next story is a a little not safe for work, so make sure that if you are watching this video that you either put in a pair of headphones or stop watching it in front of people right now, because I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so 2 researchers from New Zealand have published an article stating that by 2050 you will see robot prostitutes. So if you live in the US and you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself that prostitution is illegal in the US, well, yeah, it is, but in some countries it's not. So before we get into the rest of the story, I just want to share that I believe that prostitution should be legal everywhere. A man or a woman should not have the government telling them what they can or cannot do with their body. It is your body, you should feel free to do with whatever you want. With that said, I've never purchased nor want to purchase sex from anybody. I don't believe that it is worth the money, A, and B, I don't want to catch a disease. So with that said, the researchers go on to say that STDs won't actually be a problem because it's not a human, it's a robot. So the researchers also say that because these are androids, they can look like anybody you want, or you can just hit the random button and it'll generate a random person. Now I think this is extremely funny, but just think about it. These people, or these androids that you would be having sex with, could be any kind of different ages, different languages, different sexual features, different body types, and different ethnic backgrounds. So essentially, if you wanted to have sex with Megan Fox, or Emma Stone, or my personal favorite Jessica Alba, you could probably do it. The only problem is that it's going to cost you roughly about $12,000. So $12,000 today is a lot different than $12,000 in 2050. The reason I'm saying that is inflation. The way the dollar works is it's most likely going to decrease in value. So therefore we're going to get paid more and more as the years go on. Now I'll be well into my 60s by 2050, so I probably won't have any interest in this at all. But if you think about it, it's going to be probably not that expensive by the time we get to that point in our lives. I think this is kind of a really creepy story, but I think it's going to be really cool to see how it influences our lives every day. Because if this becomes legal and is an actual thing in the world, would it become legal everywhere? Or is it just going to be in New Zealand because they're a bunch of weirdos over there? Nah, I kid. I love everybody equally, but I think that this would be really cool. Just in general, I think this is the future. These are things that are just going to be coming to life soon. There's so many things that I read on every day that is like blowing my mind. And just thinking about having sex with a robot is not one of them, but hey, you might have a fetish out there for wanting to have sex with a robot. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge, but I do want to know. Would you or would you not have sex with a robot? Especially if it could look like anybody you wanted. Have any kind of sexual features as you wanted. Say if you wanted to have Kim Kardashian with an even bigger ass and bigger tits than she already has. Would you? Or would you not? But thanks for watching today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and favorite. Subscribe if you haven't. If you want to check out anything that we talked about today, or my Facebook, Twitter, or Google+, links are all down below. And comment and tell me what you thought about any of the stories today. I will see you guys next week.